Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for having me for enjoying this presentation, and I'm giving you welcoming for learn about my research investigation in the mathematics content area. The research question of my name is Yusuf Garcia, and my research project is going to answer the following question. Research question is: how effective is the critical thinking process of using COPS mnemonic step to follow during solving math problem for a student in third grade? The principal reason that I picked this particular topic or to develop my investigation was because at the beginning of the school year, this was my first year as a teacher, especially for math, social study, and science. I also was the first time the homeroom of a classroom, an inclusive classroom, a Title I school, and at the same time, I noticed since the beginning of the school year that my students were demonstrating a lot of struggle, understanding and following the procedure of solving mathematical word problem. Also, families were also concerned about the grade or ability of their child performing mathematical questions. So, because of the importance of this area in my students' life, and also to support me as a new teacher at Miami-Dade County Public School, I was inspired to start this research question to benefit my students' performance and also myself as a first year teacher at Inclusive Classroom. So the purpose of this study is to determine the effectiveness of the COPS strategy for students with and without disability. I wanted to support both type of students, with and without disability. The contest was guided to the study was conducted in two third grade classes. I already mentioned. One of the classes was recognized as a teen classroom with a student learning performance at the grade level, while the second class, that I was the homeroom teacher, was performance with 10% of the student at the grade level, while the rest of the class was very performance in poor performance academic level in reading and also mathematical skills. So they were having a lot of struggles reading fluently at the same time of comprehending the information and understanding the information provided in those type of questions. So the behavior of those students of that particular classroom was very, very challenging every day during math instructional time. Both classes were part of Miami-Dade County Public School, and the total participant of this investigation was 45. The 80% of the students were Asian ethnicity, and the rest was Hispanic. 3 students were identified as having a learning disability. The inclusion teacher of math classroom was responsible for conducting planning and working directly with the students during instructional time. The necessary resources needed to perform the action research studies successfully include the administration consents and also the procedure of following the curriculum standard of the grade level. So I don't remember if I said the title of my investigation, but it is Motivating Reluctant Students to Follow Mathematics Strategy. The intervention. What was the method used for this investigation? Very simple. The intervention was implemented with mnemonic CUPS strategy. What does that mean? The C was standing for, I found this strategy throughout Teacher Per Teacher website that is always available for all the teachers. If you're interested, you just need to sign in. The C was standing for so-called important keywords that were appears on the word problem information. The U were standing for underline the type of question that the problem was included. So that guide them to follow the step and proceed correctly to successfully complete the questions and get accurate results at the end of the solving problem. The P was standing for planning your strategy. How I'm going to solve the problem. And also respond to questions such as, what are you going to do to solve the problem? And a way to represent your understanding of each information provided throughout the questions. And the S was standing for solving, and check your final answer. The student follow to better development that information. The student will follow a graphic organizer that was provided provided and teaching in details throughout the first week of the investigation. The students were asking to respond as well as completing the step of the graphic organizer that include helpful questions such as what do you need to find, what data I am going to use, so what mathematical operation will help me to find the answers, and after that the student will be able to develop the procedure and really complete the word problem question with successfully responses. So basically the strategy helps them to follow the step and guide them throughout the process of finding what is the final answer for my questions. The data collection, what about that? The first data collection was the using the math word problem solving rubric that was created specifically to guide the process of teaching this strategy to those learners for both classes, even for the STEAM classroom and also for the low performance class. So that word problem solving rubric helped them and helped the teacher to understand how much they were getting throughout the explanation. The other data collected was obtained from different formative assessments such as the beginning test and also the end of the year test. Those information, the beginning test was given to the student not really at the beginning of the school year. It was given when I started investigation because it was not mandatory to use it at the beginning of the school year. We identify the level of the student through different other sources, like small questions, more multiple choice questions, but we never provide the beginning test at the beginning of the school year. So we use it at the beginning of the investigation process. The scores provided on each test allow me to have an idea how much improvement I have noticed from the beginning of the test, the beginning of the year test assessment provided at the beginning of the intervention or the investigation, and how much they improve at the end. So the other information obtained or data collected was used at the topic assessment that was provided for each third grade student at the end of each chapter lesson, and also at the end of each chapter lesson to guide them on the process and really understand which one is still a struggle and which one has been improving. And of course, daily basis, me as a teacher were asking questions at the beginning of the class to guide them and obtain get their focus and give a reinforcement for the ones that answer correctly those word problem solving questions. So the district topic assessment was also analyzed. The iReady assessment 1 kind of given me as an investigation what was the level or academic performance for each particular student in order to create a small group that helped me out through the process of get motivation of the learner to participate on this type of questions investigation, and also support me to get a final at the findings of this investigation. That was the main reason of using iReady assessment 1 and 2, because The green, the student who performs on the first test in green was demonstrated that they were performing at the grade level or higher the grade level, while the yellow ones were showing one level below the grade level. And the red one was really that need intervention, direct intervention that was provided throughout the department of math of coaching. So the other part was the findings. The finding of this investigation was basically the research supported that using mnemonic strategy in teaching word problem solving skills can slightly empower the learner's performance while analyzing information of this type of questions. So it's not 100% accurate that based on this type of students, this strategy is 100% helpful to help them solve it. We also, with a combination of technology and the explanation of the strategy, help them to improve in mathematics content skills. The student has some positive results when they follow the teacher's explanation and consistently ask this type of questions to better guide them in the process of understanding what to do when they are in front of this type of questions. Every day, the student receives different reinforcements and demonstrate the best attention and effort during math lesson instructions. What type of limitation did I experience throughout this investigation? Very simple. The length of this investigation was limited to measure the effectiveness of this strategy because of the short time, also a lot of interruption for the school events, and in addition, a lot of incidents with behaviors, disruptive behavior, especially with the class that were performing in low grade level, the one that I was the homeroom teacher. So those kind of behaviors really affect the environment, the positive environment to learn better, and following this strategy. And the student with learning disability did not improve as much as despite the teacher effort because they have an intellectual situation. Their performance below grade level, and also they having a lot of struggle with comprehensions. That was out of, at that time, of my efforts to help them more. I was unable to spend enough time with them because I was the homeroom teacher and the only teacher for 2 classes. I didn't have chance to really intervene then extra time with extra curriculum time. Expectation. The strategy benefits the self-regulation and reading skills of the learners give with good foundation and working at the grade level, help offer the student flexible environment to learn and practice the mathematical strategy learn, giving opportunity to the student in practice mathematical motivation of the learner who can perform at the grade level. And I believe that professional staff will obtain a lot of advice and help them to survive in how to find a strategy to support the student on 3rd grade in answering questions related to word problem solving, so they can really benefit for learning my findings and procedure followed throughout this investigation. So I hope that you enjoy my presentation, and thank you for being there. Be there.